Hey, welcome to a very special Up to Speed Live on this Wednesday. And yes, it is special. We are here at Basking Ridge at our headquarters. You've seen me wear my Work Forward shirt a few times today. This is the topic we'll be talking about with Christy. And as we've mentioned, every time I'm in here, there's an energy. There's a sense of renewal, the next chapter, and certainly in the prism of Work Forward, there's a lot for us to unpack today. So Christy will be joining us live, and you're seeing more and more people in the building here. So exciting times, of course. And that's something, you know, this energy about this building is something that Hans has shared many times. And it's been a while since we've officially sent the invitation to Hans, but we would love to have Hans join us. And I believe he is with us now. Hans, take it away.
Thank you, Andy. Great to be here on Up to Speed, and I'm happy that you're inviting me again. Hi, all V-teamers. Great to be back. A lot has been happening lately here, so it's great to be back and give you some updates. I'm going to talk about a little bit of Work Forward, and Christy will talk even more about it later on. But let me start by just reminding everyone that we still have a COVID and pandemic situation in the US and in the rest of the world, and we're differently impacted, and I want us to continue to be cautious and think about our friends, colleagues, customers, family, and see that they stay healthy and safe. That's so important to us. I also want to acknowledge this is 1 year since George Floyd, and our fight against racial injustice continues. We're by far finished. It's a long work, and we all need to continue to have our conversations up and doing more in that area. But I'm encouraged also what I've seen the last year when it comes to our diversity, our openness to discuss this, to continue to be a better company, but also seeing that we impact our society around us. So I just wanted to highlight that. The last couple of weeks, I've been out on the road. I've been to stores in I'm not sure how many states. It's just been great to be back and meet the team in the front, the frontline employees that has been there through this pandemic, and now seeing a better traffic in the stores, and customers are coming back as things are easing up a little bit, even though they're not over. Talked a lot about their offerings that they have now with the broken screen and the phones coming out, and how that's working. But I would say I'm excited to meet them all out there in the stores, and I will continue to go around the country here in the United States to go to our stores and meet our employees and hear about their experience the last 12 to 18 months, but also about the excitement now as the economy and the business is clearly back in full force. And we have all the stores open, and our team has a lot of new things coming up, and of course I'm expecting Ronan and his team continue the development of new offerings for our customers. So we have done quite a lot recently with a lot of fan experience with the sports, but not only that, we just recently announced our deals with the gaming companies like Apple and Google. So we're continuing this path to see that our consumer customers can migrate with us with more value and the best network. And talking about the network, I mean, Kyle and the team, they are continue to build the stadiums. I'm not sure how many NBA stadiums are into in the NHL, and of course we already have the NFL. So at the playoff season we have right now, I mean, more and more are experiencing our 5G and our ultra wideband, and we're also doing the mobile edge computing some of those stadiums. So very exciting work the team is doing there with the fan experience and all of that. So it's an exciting time, and as we see people coming back to these big venues. And one thing that Kyle told me is that we talked about these handovers between cells when people move around in the wireless network, which was down 55-60% in urban places like in New York City, where I'm today, in my office in New York City. That is now been quickly coming back, and people are moving around much more. We're not really back to pre-COVID, but clearly not far away. And during that time, our network team has been so much millimeter wave in the urban areas and venues, etc. So the experience is going to be great. And that's why it's so important also to have this conversation with our customers about our unique experience that we have on ultra wideband. So a lot of things that we have done, but more to come. There's going to be more announcement coming later this week. So it's a great time right now. But remember, we still have the COVID, and but it's easing off here in the US. Talking about offices, I'm here in the office in New York today, and I'm gradually coming back. And of course, I hope to see all of you in offices over time, the ones that have an administrative office as their home base. Christy will talk later on the work we have been doing, and that work her and her team together with all the units have been doing, running the 14, 15 pilots to understand how to bring us all back in a safe way, in a great way, so we all can enjoy being in the office again. And I think that we are now at that moment where we're going to push that button in a very staggered and organized way to bring back all of you back to offices, to be having the ability to come into the office and work and meet your colleagues. Wow, I hope that you're looking forward to that equally much as I'm doing. But again, we will do it in a safe, organized way that Christy and her team has done all this work during the COVID. But clearly, as you see here in the US especially, we are seeing many other companies coming back to work. And we will do so as well, and we will do it in a gradual way. For the rest of the world, it's going to depend on the situation, of course, and we have very different situations. We talked about India quite a lot just a week ago, where the situation has been extremely tough. It's still very tough. So there are different places where it's going to take longer, and Christy is going to mainly talk about the US right now, but we also are, of course, looking into all our offices across the globe. So that's a short update from me, Andy, what's happening, but a lot of excitement. And then, of course, be very cautious when it comes to the COVID-19 and the pandemic, wherever you are. But clearly, we see a momentum building back, both from the customer point of view. Not only that, we see it also that we are now in a position to bring you back to the offices. So by that is my update, Andy.
Hans, thank you very much. Always great to have you on Up to Speed Live. And as I say, every time we're together, you are invited anytime you'd like. So don't wait for the invitation. We'll see you again very soon. And as Hans mentioned, we are getting ready to move work forward. And with us today to share the details on what's to come, Christy Pambianchi, our HR leader. Of course, Christy's always good to be with you today. And where we last left off with Work Forward, the pilot had just started. We'd love to know, an update on how the pilot is going. I can certainly give you a few of my thoughts as well. Being a part of the pilot, it's been an honor. I've learned a lot, and it's been wonderful to trade knowledge back and forth with our HR team, with our leaders. It's been going great, but just an update company-wide.
Well, Andy, thanks so much. It's great to be here. Great to follow Hans talking about this awesome Work Forward topic. And so, as Hans stated, we are really excited to be rolling out Work Forward. And this is really going to be how we go forward as a V team, taking all the things we learned and bringing our Verizon 2.0 ways of life to bear. And so over the last 2 months, we have had over 3,200 V-teamers in 50 pilots around the United States, and we've had international teams tracking with that, sharing the learnings as we go. And this allowed us to pilot the technology, the training, and we got feedback every week, which was critical from all of the participants in the program. That is giving us all the input we need to figure out how do we finalize the tools in the program so that we can scale, bringing back the hybrid employees at scale to all of our locations.
Yeah, and it's been great to think about this pilot not only just being an experience, but really something that is both kind of organizational and personal. I remember even this morning, go into my car in the morning, and I have my little cup of coffee and my backpack, and I'm thinking, it almost felt nostalgic in a way, you know, but to feel that sense of normalcy and to know that we have the support here, you know, it's fantastic. This is great learnings. And tell us about sort of what's next now. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting my Work Forward badge and you know, really making sure that people know that I'm a proud member of this pilot. But certainly there's sort of that next chapter as well.
Yeah, Andy, we've got a lot coming. So let me just take a pause and highlight. First, I want to just quickly review what are the 3 working models that we have so everyone's on the same page. First, we have worksite-based V-teamers. So these are employees that exclusively perform their work at a defined location, including retail stores, garages, or the field. Second, we have home-based V-teamers whose work is going to be performed primarily from a home workspace with some occasional gatherings for team building, training, or other activities. And then finally, our third model is hybrid V-teamers. And these are folks whose work is going to be tied to a defined work location, but also have the flexibility to work from a home office with a set schedule that'll be determined by the director.
Yeah, so then, you know, going to what's next, like how does this expand now, Christy?
So what we've been doing through the pilot is testing all of the tools for the hybrid work forward. We have had our on-site, worksite-based teams already working throughout the last number of months, and our home-based teams, we communicated with them last August, and we've been fine-tuning all of those protocols. So now, as we think about hybrid work forward, that's really what we're concentrating on. And we will be figuring out how to bring all of the employees back into a hybrid setting based on the learnings from the pilot. So there's a couple of key things. First, we're going to be doing this in waves. We will have our first wave of employees coming into the hybrid work forward starting in July, and we'll have a wave in August, September, and October. And so we want everybody to sort of understand we have about 40,000 employees in this group of workers that are going to be coming back into a hybrid work setting. We're going to have 15,000 in wave 1. And so we are gearing up, starting with today's communication, to begin to communicate throughout the company on what that means, what wave people are on, and more.
Excellent. So, and let's go ahead and keep this slide up because there's a lot of information here. So once again, Wave 1 employees will start onboarding June 7th. Christy, so what about the waves for the hybrid employees?
Yeah, so a couple of things to note. With the 4 waves, we've built them in throughout the quarter so that we could gradually introduce hybrid work team members to work forward. And so each wave, as I mentioned, is going to come at the beginning of a month, July, August, September, and October. What's going to happen is about a month before, the teams will get notified and they'll begin their training and they'll begin to certify and such. And once a team completes their certification, they're going to have full access to the office on their designated wave start time frame.
Yeah, and this worked very similar to sort of the way the pilots worked. You know, we were kind of seeing, obviously when we were notified of, you know, being in the pilot, there were so many questions. But as far as folks wanting to know, you know, top of mind, you know, when will we find out what wave we're in? Can you give us a little glimpse into how that's going to roll out?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I imagine every V-teamer wants to know that, which is why we felt it was so important, like everything we've done throughout COVID and throughout the pandemic, to provide information as soon as we have it. So thanks again to the pilot participants, and also with the, you know, just the great progress on people getting vaccinated, the CDC feeling confident enough to begin to shift guidelines. We feel that we are going to be able to open our administrative offices at scale starting in July. And so with the 4 waves, what we intend to do by June 4th, which is next Friday, everybody in the hybrid work team, we will communicate to you through your leaders which wave you're in, wave 1, 2, 3, or 4. These waves were determined by the business leaders based on the demands and the business needs. And the working model that applies to your job, be it home-based, be it on-site or hybrid, was also determined based on the function and the job that you perform. We worked really closely with the leaders to map out the best fit based on every V-teamer's role.
Yeah, and you can see that, like as a member of the pilot, just how much personalized thinking there is among our leaders to make sure that everyone's needs and understandings and questions are met. It's been wonderful. Now I'm going to ask you a question that I feel like I can answer, but you know, since you're here, HR leader, I'll ask you. So the hybrid teams, what can they expect when it comes to Work Forward onboarding?
Now, this is a really great question. So let me just talk about this for a minute. We think that, you know, work is core to our overall transformation, but how we work is just as important. And so we have built a microsite. This is really going to be a one-stop shop for all information around Work Forward that V-teamers need. And on the microsite, there'll be training, there'll be policies, there'll also be digital collaboration tools along with information to how to use them and how to support new ways of working. In addition, during the onboarding, and you know this from the pilot because we tested all the tools, employees will be invited into each wave about a month ahead of time, 4 weeks out, and that invitation will then include orienting to the microsite, and it will launch training that we've developed. There'll also be weekly action items that you'll receive through those 4 weeks leading up to your certification and onboarding, telling you what should you focus on and concentrate on that week. So really from the start of your wave, you're gonna have a month to complete everything, and when you finish, you'll have full access to the office.
It's pretty incredible. It's like, you know, going back to normal is the wrong phrase here. When you look at, you know, what the microsite provides and what the tools provide, it's really a sense of making sure that we all feel like we're ready to come back. And so with that in mind, I mean, the microsite is just the beginning. If you can just give us some examples of some of the training and the tools that you're providing for our teams here.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. So one of the things here, and my comments here will be specific around for hybrid Work Forward at this moment. So for leaders, we've got learning pathways that really give them specific training on how do you manage a distributed team. That means a team where some people are on site and some people may be at a home or remote office. Maybe they're in other Verizon offices. So we want to make sure our leaders have the training they need to lead teams in a distributed environment and foster and strengthen collaboration. And even though we have been working virtually, remotely, and collaborating in that way, we want to make sure that our teams have the support they need to remain productive and continue to thrive as we make this now a more permanent way of working for us. The other thing I really want to highlight is the directors. We felt it was really important as a VLC that we are going to empower directors of the hybrid teams to have access to and decide on the right hybrid schedules for their team. But we also recognize directors want some guidance in that. So we've built some training and we've also built a tool. So they're going to be able to answer questions about the kind of work their teams do, and they'll be given some guidance as they determine the right hybrid schedules for their teams.
Yeah, and I think there's just so much for the directors and our leaders to think about. And of course, for anybody out there who, you know, who has questions, really, go to your leader. This is all kind of part of the learning process. That's at least how we operated as a team during the pilot here. Let's talk a little bit about just the excitement of being back. I mentioned this at the top of the show. Hans has mentioned this a few times as well, about just the emotional you know, page you turn. And I remember you know, a couple weeks ago, our friend Jess Bernardi came in and I hope I don't want to call out Jess, but she shed a tear coming into this office because she saw what was sort of the last time she saw this workspace was a year and a half ago. And there's certainly an emotional moment to this. So let's talk timing about coming back. You know, after the wave completes their onboarding, you're encouraged to follow schedule. What should we expect for hybrid employees when they do come back?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great question, Andy. I mean, you even mentioned at the outset, like getting in your car, you know, learning to commute. We know people have made a lot of transition to figure out how to get through the last 15 months. So think about July and August really as a transition time. We have about 40,000 V-teamers that we're looking to scale from what was a remote setting to a hybrid setting. And working in a hybrid model is something completely new for us to do that at scale. So starting September 7th, which is right after Labor Day, a United States holiday, all hybrid employees will be expected to follow their schedules. And so our intention is, again, by June 4th, next Friday, we'll communicate to team members in hybrid work schedules what wave they're in. Wave 1 is July, Wave 2 is August, Wave 3 is September, Wave 4 is October. We also are leafing in the international locations. We've had close engagement with them throughout the pilot. And so folks will know by the end of next week what wave they're in. That way they can start to prepare. They can understand when their training is going to happen. They can begin to plan and modify whatever they need to think about to be ready to start on their schedules. And so we're going to roll this out in waves because we recognize we're scaling. And so we expect to have about 15,000 people each of the first 3 waves, and then a smaller wave 4.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And a follow-up to that question, Christy, so what can our worksite-based and our home-based V-teamers expect?
Yeah, well, first, just like our hybrid teams, our worksite-based and our home-based V-teamers are going to make sure and need to understand all of the working models because we all work together collaboratively, and we want to make sure they're provided with some basic education and training as part of how we're badging and bringing back certification and enabling people to come into this new work model. And I think, you know, there's a lot in the media. I just was watching the news this morning, Andy. This was the whole topic on one of the main business news programs, hybrid work environments. And so we're very mindful that we want to take all the learnings and set our hybrid V-teamers up for success, as well as share that information with our home-based teams and our on-site teams so they can all know and see. For example, we have the scheduler tool, and you'll be able to see what schedules there are for people working in hybrid work models. And this is going to help all the V-teamers know what kind of schedule people are on, when they can work together, et cetera. And we believe that that's going to be key to our success of bringing all 3 work models back online.
The flexibility is going to bring us to even newer heights, I believe. And the timing, of course, Christy, is something that we're talking about. And certainly, I'm assuming on the replay here, folks will be watching this again and again to get it right. But the timing for worksite, home-based employees to officially enter Work Forward, and the same for international. What kind of information can you give us on that?
Yeah, thanks, Andy. So we are working very closely with the leaders of our worksite-based teams and our home-based teams to welcome them to Work Forward. I would say they're going to hear from their leaders, which is going to be giving them additional information in the coming weeks. And many of them have already been working in those models already to date. But the goal is to have everybody up and running in Work Forward by the beginning of October.
There it is. There it is. It's such an exciting time for us, Christy, and we just appreciate you giving us, just a real high-level look at sort of what's next for all of us. Work Forward, of course, is something that I've been proud to be a pilot of, but just really looking forward to more of us getting excited for the future of our work. And I can say firsthand that Work Forward is going to transform how we work, how we connect, how we celebrate being part of the V team. I can't wait to see everyone, move and give everyone the little elbow bump there, and perhaps we'll get that coffee shop going behind us. And it's such a different feeling. And I couldn't help but pause this morning thinking about life, and this is what it's all about. And before we go, Christy, just your final thoughts on obviously a challenging year, but one that the HR team has met and exceeded in terms of supporting us. Thank you. But sitting here talking about this next chapter, what are your thoughts as you reflect and as you also look forward?
Yeah, I mean, this has just been an incredible, 15 plus months that I think we've all been through together as a V team. So first I reflect back on, just how grateful I am for the work we've done as a team of 135,000 V teamers worldwide, pulling together to get through COVID, keep our customers connected, keep our people safe. So I think where we are now is in the precipice of, as a world community, hopefully we're beginning to be in the final stages of COVID, and many people, there's unrestricted access to the vaccine here in the United States. There's many other countries around the world beginning to get their vaccination rates up at really super levels, and the world is really rallying around some of the troubled and crisis spots in the world like India and Brazil, which obviously the V team, we've talked about our work there. So I think these are all really positive signs, and what we want to do is kind of continue on our Verizon 2.0 journey and make sure we're moving forward on all of our new ways of working. And in a lot of ways, the things we're doing with our 3 models of home-based and on-site-based and hybrid-based was really in our Verizon 2.0 ways of working roadmap, but probably 3 to 5 years out. And when we look at everything the V team did over the last 15 months, we as a leadership team say, you know, we've got this. We don't have to wait 3 to 5 years. Let's do that now. And so through the pilots, all of you in the pilots, thank you, 3,200 of you, 50 directors. You've been doing our weekly surveys and telling us what didn't work in the training, what to fix and change, and buttons for the scheduler tool, and all the things you're going to need, because we want each of these work models to be successful when we come back. And as we scale, we're going to continue to ask your feedback. And so you should anticipate, too, that we believe we've got enough established and tested to go with these 4 waves, but you will also be able to give us feedback along the way, and we're going to constantly improve because we want to be as high performing as we can to serve our customers, make the V team successful. And we're working closely together, Hans, the VLC, our communications team, to really create excitement around all of the 3 work settings and you know, bringing forward the next phase of our journey in our work forward.
It's a great opportunity for all of us to be a part of this big change. And just a personal question, I wasn't too nitpicky with my my survey answers or anything, right? I felt like that was kind of directed at me just a little bit. But that's what it's all about. It's about making sure we open up that communication.
We want to know, we want to know. And we learned so much from everybody in the surveys, and we're going to continue to learn more. And I think, you know, this is really an exciting time. And the tools we've got, the training we've built, the collaboration tools, we think are going to allow the V-teamers to be successful in a hybrid environment. So we're looking forward to hybrid work forward, and we're looking forward to continue with our home-based and our worksite-based teams.
A year ago, we all thought, can we do this? You look back and we did. So if you're asking that question now in this next chapter, can we do this? Think about all you've done. Think about what we as a team have done. I'm so proud to be a part of Work Forward, to be a part of the V team, and just proud to know that you and the HR team have our backs during all of this. So thank you so much, Christy.
Thank you, Andy. Great to be here.
All right, so much more coming up on Work Forward, and I believe next week you'll be joining us as well for another update.
For more details, make sure, you know, hopefully we'll probably get a lot of questions from today's discussion.
That's right.
And so we'll be back to make sure all the V-teamers' questions are answered.
Excellent. Christy, thank you very much. Folks, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, the energy in here is fantastic. Hope you're having a great day, and until next time, you're up to speed.